Hello all, in this video we are going to look at basic string functions. So if you want to do string manipulations, what are some of the useful functions that you can use? In order to use most of these functions, we have to include the string library. So that's the first thing you need to do. So here I declare string 1 to be hello with a space and string 2 to be world. And then I can easily concatenate them by simply adding a plus between the two. So now string is going to be hello world, right? So let's take a look here and I can show that. So we can see clearly that this string, which is concatenation of string 1 and 2, is hello space word. And you have to include that space, okay, in one of these two words, otherwise they would be attached together. Okay, what else? So strings are like arrays. They are stored as such. So basically, the index for the first one is going to be 0. So the first character is going to be 0. And then the next character is going to be 1, and so on and so forth. So if I want the first character in this string hello world, that is going to be H, and that is going to be string in brackets 0. If I want the second letter, it's going to be string in bracket 1, and so on and so forth. Right, so this one should return for me capital H, and you clearly see here that it does it for me, H. What else do I have? The next thing is the length of a string, and that is going to return basically how many total characters are in string. So if you look here, I have hello, that's 5, I have world, that's 5, and I have the space, and the space counts as a character. So the total thing is 11. So all I need is str.length, and this length is a method for this string class. So I pass to it string.length, and inside this parentheses, I don't need any input argument. So it should return 11 to me, and you clearly see that it does it, right? So that's good. The next thing is comparing two strings. If I have string 1 and string 2 and I want to see if they are the same or not, I can compare them by saying string1 dot compare, and then compare that against what? Against string 2, right? And then the result is going to be what? If they are exactly the same, it returns a 0. Otherwise, it returns a non-zero number. So when they are the same, 0. When they are not the same, what? A different number, a non-zero number. In this case, you see it returns -1. But what does -1 mean in this case? For example, if I go ahead and change this world into small letter, okay, is that going to make any difference? Well, let's take a look. So you see, still what? Still -1. And if I go ahead and change this world into something else, let's say, for example, hello engineering educator fans, right? EEFs. What about this? Is that going to make any difference? Well, you see now it's +1 instead of -1. So what happened here that I went from -1 to +1? Well, what it does, it compares the first letters of the two. And then depending on which one of these two letters is ahead of the other one in the alphabet or in the ASCII code, it represents a bigger number, then that will give you a +1 or -1. Previously, what was the case? I had hello world. So I had H and W. Since the first letter in string 1 was smaller than the first letter in string 2, H was smaller ASCII number and compared to the W, I got the -1. Then I changed it to what? EEFs. Now the H letter is what? Is a bigger number in ASCII code compared to what? Compared to E. So this time it's going to give you a positive number. So I can say when they are the same, it returns a 0. When the first letter of str1 is basically bigger than first letter of str2, And let me go to the next line. It returns +1, otherwise it returns -1. Okay, so this way you can, and by bigger than we mean the equivalent ASCII code, or in the alphabet basically, right? Now, is it sensitive to upper and lower case? So if I have another word and this time I have hello with a space, you see they are the same except for one letter is capital, one letter is small. Is that going to return a 0 for me? And you see that the answer is no, -1. Why? Because big H in the ASCII table is a smaller number compared to small h. The difference between them is like 32. Okay, so you see for C++, like anything else, small letters and big letters are not the same thing. Okay, so please pay attention to these important differences. Okay, what else do I have? So now that I talked about the upper and lower, right, and the fact that upper and lower cases are not the same, I would like to add a couple of extra functions for you that will return the upper or the lower case of the string, which I have not squeezed down here, but I would like to add them for you. So here I have added those code for you here. So in C++, there is not a function that you pass to it the entire string, and then it returns for you the uppercase. By uppercase, I mean all of the letters be uppercase or all of the letters be lowercase, okay? In MATLAB, we have those functions, upper and lower. What we have in C++ is we have upper and lower, and what we can do is by transforming those characters into upper or into lower, but it's going to be for characters, not for the entire string. So if here I come and define two new strings, str upper and str lower, and set them initially equal to str, which is hello world, in which h and w are capital and everything else is a small letter, right? Then I can transform these two new strings into all upper or all lower, but character by character. How? I use what we call iterators, which you're going to talk about in the next video, but here I can also tell you. So this str.begin basically refers to the memory location where the first character, which is h, is stored, and str.end is going to be the memory location where the last character is stored. So you say from the beginning character to the last character, right? str.begin, str.end. Go ahead and then what? Starting from str.begin, so this is your whole range, and this is your start point. Starting from str.begin, starting from the start and the whole range, go ahead and convert every character to uppercase, or go ahead and transform everything to what? To lowercase. So this is kind of like a for loop, basically. What you can see here is applying a transformation to each and every one of the characters. So if I run a for loop here on this str and change this 0 from, make it strii, I goes from 0 to the length, right? And then each and every one of them, change them to upper and lowercase, then that is basically this is what this one is. This is equivalent to it. So here is converting to string to all upper or all lower cases using iterators, which is basically these memory addresses. So here I'm doing that, and if you look at the result here, you see that one of them is all uppercase and the other one is what? All lowercase. So using these two pieces of code, you can do that conversion. I just thought that I would add it for you to make my lecture more complete. But there are more functions that you can use. One of them is find. So for find, you pass to it a string or maybe a single character, and you want to find the first occurrence location for this token or this small template into what? Into the giant string. So your string is hello world, and you want to find a place that have L and O. So where is it that LO happening into the big str? If you look, what is it? This is location 0, this is location 1, this is location 2. The first place that is happening is the second L, which is location 3, index 3. So index 3 is where LO is happening, and if you look at it, that's the number that you would get. So in str location 3 or index 3, that's where I have L and O, right? If I change it to LL, then you expect it to be what? To be location 2, which is right there, right? So take a look here. You see? That's 2. Okay, so this is fine. We have something called replace, and we have erase and insert. Let me put the replace right after find, because that's typically common that you have find and replace together. So what does replace do? Here you say go to the start position, that is 6, go to index 6, then for a length of 5 characters, replace whatever you can find in str, replace it with what? With EEA fans. Okay, so go to location 6, replace 5 characters with EEA space fans exclamation mark. What happens if you do that? So this is what you will get. Hello EEA fans. Instead of hello world, it becomes hello EEA fans. Now, why does this happen? Let's go back and take a look. Well, what you're doing here is you go to location 6, which is what? It's hello space is location 5, and then world is a space, world is a location 6. So you go right where W starts, and then you replace 5 characters for EEA fans. But the question is, all I have left from str is 5 characters. I have 5 characters left, but this EEA fans, if you look at it, it's 8 characters. There is a space and there is exclamation mark. So what happens when the length of the replaced part is more than the length that you requested? You're asking for 5 characters to be replaced, but what you're trying to replace is 8 characters. Then the whole thing will be replaced. So this 5 will be ignored, and all of the 8 characters will be replaced into what? Into str, as you just saw, right? You can clearly see back here. Okay, so this is fine, this is replace. We can erase something. So now that I have hello EEA, hello space EEA fans exclamation, you say erase for me out of str starting from location 2 and a length of 4 characters. So go to location 2, which is what? Which is this guy here, and then get rid of 4 characters, which is basically these 4 characters, right? Erase them, get rid of them. So what you will get is he instead of hello, and then EEA fans, right? So that should be the result. And let's take a look at it. And that's what I told you. He, EEA fans. You see, because that LLO space is erased by that command. By the way, when you apply this command, what happens to your str? Your str is changed now. Your str is now this he EEA fans after this. So be careful. If you don't want the original string to be altered, you want a new string that is an erased version of the original one, go ahead and create a copy of str, call it str erased or something, and then apply this erase command to that. Okay, the command replace, the command insert, the command erase. All these three commands will alter, will change your original string. So let me add that for you here. Okay, so you know that if you do any of these, you are going to get your original one changed. Okay, just keep that in mind. And finally, we have insert. You say, hey, now go back to location 2, which is right after he, and then add back the LLO and space. So again, this should give me back hello EEA fans, right? Whatever I erased 4 characters, now I'm giving it back to it using insert command. And that's what you can see over here. Okay, so this is what I had for you for string manipulations: concatenation, index, length, comparison, converting to upper and lowercase. Kind of implicitly, we talked about iterators, then the commands begin and end, and then find, replace, erase, and insert. So hopefully this video was useful to you. I will see you in my next lecture. Thank you.